It's dusk and the end of a long hot day for the pups, and I'm surprised they've still got any energy left after what went on this morning. The two adults killed a female impala up against the fence line, and soon called the pups to come and feed. But once they'd finished feeding, the adults then had their little nibble on the remains of the carcass before the vultures moved in. And the pups were just milling around in the area, and I noticed them walking towards the fence but thought nothing of it. And a while later I went to check on what was going on, and there were 6 pups on this side of the fence and 3 pups on the other side of the fence. And then I saw the puzzles on the other side as well. They'd obviously got through a hole in the fence, but now the 6 pups on this side of the fence were desperate to join their friends, and they were running into the fence like it just wasn't there and being pushed back. It was really rough to see them hurting themselves like that. So I decided to try and solve the problem for them, and I cut a hole in the fence, and they walked past the hole, looked at it, and then carried on. In the meantime, the 3 pups on the northern side of the fence were following them along the fence at the same time, and I was actually hoping they would all come back onto Malilongwe. And they did this walking up and down the fence for hours, and I cut more holes in the fence. I must have cut 3-4 holes in the fence, and they still didn't use them. And eventually, getting desperate, I cut a whole chunk out of the fence, probably 10 meters I took away from the fence. And the pups came from the far side and looked at this hole, and they just didn't want to come back. But eventually Mom arrived and took the gap, and all of them came running back, joined the other 6, and they headed back south again. And what a relief it was for me. But it was already almost midday for the pups and a really hot day, and they were exhausted from all this travel. So I was surprised they had any energy left this afternoon. And now they're totally spaced out. And I spent the rest of the day closing up every little hole I could find in the fence line. So hopefully they won't venture off again.